Hi everyone. Now we will discuss forms in HTML. So first we will discuss basic form structures. So HTML forms are used to collect user input, and its main elements are form element that defines the form. One is the input tag that collects the user data. One is select tag that provides a drop down list. Another one is label tag that associates a label with an input. So now let's discuss it with some basic code. First we will start the form using form tag. Okay. So here we have action is equals to. So here we will write submit. Okay. So it means there will be a URL. In this case it is /submit root/submit. So you are where the form data is sent after submission. Okay. So form data is sent on this URL after the form submission, and we will write method is equals to post. It means it is the HTTP method, and this post method, it is used to send data securely in the request body of this URL. Okay. So now let's create a first label tag. Okay. Username. Okay. So label tag, it creates a label for the input field. Now let's create input field. Type is equals to text. Okay. Name is equals to, let's say, username. Okay. And we can give ID also. ID is equals to same username. Okay. So here 4 is equals to, in label we will write 4 is equals to username. Okay. It means it will link the label. It will link the label to the input with ID username. Okay. So it is used for improving the accessibility. So here in the label 4 is equals to username, it will link to this ID, to this input field. Okay. And this input tag, what it will do, it will collect the user input. So here type is equals to text, means it specify plain text input, and name is equals to username. It identifies the input field when data is submitted. Okay. And we can write here required also. What it will do, it will ensure the field is filled out before submission, and it is a mandatory field. Without input this field, we cannot submit the form. Okay. Now let's create another label. For the gender. Okay. Here we will use select. Select have name and ID. Okay. So the select contains option. Select contain options. Okay. So here it will work as a drop down field. So name is equals to let's say gender. ID is equals to gender, and here 4 is equals to gender, that it will link to this ID. Okay. Now select has two options. One is value is equals to male. Okay, here we will write male, and another female. Female. Okay. So here we will write female. Okay. After that we will place a button to submit the form, and here type will be submit. Type is equals to submit. Okay, so this select, it will provide a drop down list and it contains option elements with value attributes. Okay, for the choices male and female. And button, what it will do, it will submit the form when clicked. Okay, so this is the example of form, basic form structure. Now let's save it and go to browser. Okay, so this is the form which we have made. One is username, another is gender, and then submit. Okay, we can write break statement also. Break, and here, so that it will go to the next line. Here break, save it, go here. Okay, one is username. Okay, so you can see we cannot do submit because why we cannot do submit? Because username field is empty. So now we have filled it and we can select gender as male and female. So now if we click submit, we are going to this link submit. Okay, so on this URL our form will get submitted. Okay, so now let's go to the code again. So here we have form submission methods. One is get and another one is post. Get method, what it will do, it will append the form data to the URL as query parameters, and it is used for non-sensitive data because we are sending in query parameters. If we come to post method, it sends data in the HTTP request body and it's used for sensitive or large data. Okay, so now we will check the input types now. Okay, so let's create a form with input types. So HTML supports various input types to handle different kinds of data. One is text for plain text, number for numeric input like age, password for hidden characters, checkbox for multiple selections, radio for single selections like male or female, and file for file uploads. So let's go to index.html. For now, we can comment this code. Okay, we will create another form. So here, let's create a form tag. Okay, for now, let's remove the action field. Okay, we will see the numeric, we will see the input types only here. So first one is, let's say we have input field here. Type is equals to text. Okay, name is equals to name, and we can write placeholder. Why we use placeholder? What's the use of it? So it's useful for the text in the input field. Okay, so it displays the placeholder text for guidance. We will see in the example. For now, enter your name. Let's save it. Let's go to the browser. So you can see this is the placeholder. Enter username. Okay, so now this is the input text field. We can write text here. Now go to the code and select. Let's say if we have type is equals to number, and here enter your age. Name will be age. Name of the field will be age. Let's go to the browser. Here we cannot type. We can only type numbers. Okay. You can see we have a increment or decrement bar also, and we can type numeric fields. Okay. So it's a best practice to give the type in the input field. Similarly, we have a type is equals to password. Okay, so it is automatically giving suggestions. Enter your password. Okay, let's save it. Let's go to browser, and you can see here the characters are hidden. It masks the input with those dots or sometimes asterisks for the privacy. So you have seen in the form, password fields are masked. Okay. So for this, we need to give the type as password. Similarly, we can give the type as checkbox. Okay. Name is equals to let's say subscribe. Subscribe placeholder is equals to subscriber. Okay. And for now, we can give value as yes. Now let's go to the browser and see. So, okay, so this is the checkbox. Now we have radio type also. Let's say we have a name is goes to gender, and we have a values goes to, we will give male. Okay. So let's go to the browser. Here we are getting only one, and we have let's make female also in the radio button. Input type is goes to radio, and just we need to change the value because the name will remain same. Okay, because the input field is same. That's why gender will be placed in both of the input type of radio buttons, male and female. Now we can select only one from male and female. So this is how we use radio button, because it will allows only one selection among the multiple options. Example, male or female. Only one can be selected. Okay. Another one is file. So for this, let's say input type is equals to file. Okay. We can say name is equals to pic, you can say. Let's go to browser. So here we will get this field, choose file. Okay. So these are the input types in the HTML. So also let's see about the validation form fields. Okay, one is required, another is minimum, maximum, min length, max length. Okay, and we have pattern that defines a regular expression for input. So these are provided by HTML validation attributes. Okay, so required we have seen. Let's comment this code, uncomment this. Let's go to browser. So we have seen the required because we are not able to submit because username input is empty. So here we have provided the validation required. It ensures the field is filled before the submission. So this username field is mandatory. Okay. If we write type is equals to email, okay, then it will automatically validates the input as an email. Let's check it. Firstly, let's comment this code. We will see the email option. Inside the username, write email, for used to email, copy it, place it in the ID field. Name is equals to email, type is equals to email. Okay, so here placeholder no need. Let's save it. Here we have mentioned type is equals to email. Okay, so it automatically validates the input as an email. Let's go to browser, enter name, and here let's say FF. It will not submit because it will give the pop-up as please include an @ in the email address. Okay, if you write @ then it will work because it is checking this @ validation. Okay, so it automatically validates the input as an email when we provide type is equals to email. Similarly, we have min and maximum, min and max. Let's make a age label. We will see how min and max works. So age type is equals to age is of type number, name is equals to age, ID is equals to age. Okay, so if we provide here min is equals to minimum age should be 18 and maximum is equals to 88. Okay, so now let's go to browser. Let's enter name, email @ .com. So if we enter age as 12, okay, it will not submit because it is showing validation as value must be greater than or equal to 18. Okay, and if we provide 123 and it is showing message as value must be less than or equal to 88. Once we provided the correct 45, let's we have provided, now it will submit. Okay, so this form has some validations. So we have seen min and max also, that defines the numerical constraints for the input. So if the validation fails, browser will show error messages and it will prevent the submission. So these are we have seen basic form structure, form submission methods, input types, and validating form fields in HTML form.